What's up? My name is Jay, and today I hope you want to learn something new because I'm working on a 3D card flip using CSS 3D Transforms. Now, we're going to use a little bit of JavaScript, but it's going to be mainly just CSS and how we can do a card flip. If you don't know what it is, here you can see what I have. If I click on this section, it's going to flip. And it's going to show me the back side of that card as everyone use card flip for this effect. It's very simple. It's CSS. The only difference is that we're going to be using 3D transforms instead of the regular transform that you use when using CSS. But it's very simple. And for the click, we're going to use a little bit of JavaScript. Very simple. So let's go ahead and close this and start from nothing. All right. Well, not nothing. We have something here. Some HTML. As you can see, we don't have CSS yet. I have a reset CSS here that we're going to use and my logo that we're going to use. So first thing, I'm going to go up here, make sure that we have that reset CSS. And remember, there's a link in the description of the video. Go there, download all the files if you want them. Let's link the CSS. It's going to be style CSS. That's fine. Let's save that. And now we need to create our style CSS. There we go. By the way, I'm using VS Code. This is my code editor right now. There's a link in the description if you want to use VS Code. I love it. It's very, very easy to understand and use. So let's start with some HTML. So first thing, I'm going to create a container. Everything's going to be inside this container. And then we're going to have our card. So the card that is going to flip. So we can call it card. You can call it whatever you want on the CSS classes. It doesn't have to be card. And I'm going to have the card and some text on the side. I feel it's more like a real world scenario, like a real project. Maybe your client, your boss, whoever. Hey, let's create that section that flips, something cool that you can do. And then we're going to have a description on the side too. So maybe that's a possibility. So let's do just a paragraph with some lorem ipsum, I don't know, 50 maybe. I think that's good. So now we have the card and the paragraph here. Inside the card, we're gonna have, actually, let's make sure, yeah. All right, so we're closing the container, just making sure that's good. Inside the card, we're gonna have two sides. We're gonna have the front side and the back side. So let's make sure we have that. So I'm gonna do a card block, which is going to be a CSS that we're going to have for both. It doesn't have to be card block. Some people call it card face, card, whatever you want. And then we're going to have, let's create card block. All right. We're going to have two of those because it's going to be the front and the back. And this one, we can call it, I don't know, card front. And then this one, card back. So we have two divs. Each one has the same card block CSS class, and then the front one will have the specific card front, and the back one will have the specific card back class. All right, just making sure. Why I created this card block? Because we're gonna share the same style. They're both gonna share the same style, but we're gonna change a little bit on both. That's why we add a second one specifically for the front and the back. That's it. All right, now that we have our HTML ready, well, not 100% ready, because I want to add more content inside the front and inside the back, but I want to start adding some CSS. So let's save that for now. And as you can see here, it doesn't look that pretty, but that's fine. Let's go to the CSS file and let's start by adding stuff to our body. All right, body. The height, I want the height to be 100% viewport height, so VH, because I want to center the whole card section is going to be centered. Display flex, that's going to help us with centering this whole thing. Let's do align item center, justify content center, and font family. I want to change it. I don't like that font, so I'm just going to change it to something simple like Helvetica. For now, you can do whatever you want. There's always Google font. You can find very cool fonts there. And as you can see now, it's centered vertically and horizontally. That's the power of Flexbox. I love it. Let's go ahead and do container. I want a max width of like 1,000 pixels. You can do whatever you want. Doesn't have to be 1,000 pixels. Margin 0 auto. That way is centered. Let's save. All right, you don't notice a lot, but it's centered just because we don't have a lot of space here, but there you go. Now you can see that it's centered. Let's go back, put it here. I want this to be display flex too. Align items to the center. And here's one of the new things that you're gonna learn, perspective, because we're gonna have 3D transform. We're gonna use 3D transform in the childrens of these containers. We need to add the perspective. So I'm gonna do something like 800 pixels. You will understand what perspective is when we play with the 3D and how it looks. But for now, I'm just gonna add 800 pixels. I'm gonna change it later so you can see the difference between the pixels and what happens when we change perspective. All right, so this text, let's do container. And I'm doing this symbol because I don't want other paragraph inside, because if I do this and I put this, for example, width 100%, I don't know, margin 0, 35 pixels to have a little bit of margin left and right, is gonna say, okay, every single p tag or paragraph inside the inside the container will have this, but I'm gonna have more paragraph tags in children's in all this card. So I'm gonna do this because I want only the immediate paragraph inside the container. If there are more paragraph inside another children, another one is not gonna take the CSS. It's just only the immediate paragraph in the container. Okay. If you don't understand this, I'm gonna put a link in the description. That way you can understand this. Is very important. I use it a lot. I use this one. I use a plus sign a lot. There's a bunch of symbols that you can use in CSS. All right. So let's go ahead and let's start adding things to our card. We have a little bit of CSS. So let's start with the front card. So we had the logo and a logo title and a little bit of text. So let's go ahead and add first the logo. So image, source, and we have the logo right here. All right, and then after the logo, we're gonna have that title is I eat websites. And then after that, we're gonna have the another paragraph. And this is the problem. I don't want this class to modify this paragraph, and that's why I added this. Okay. So let's do, I don't know, lorem 20 maybe. Maybe. I think that's good. We'll see. All right, save that. All right, here you go. So now we have logo, headline, and text for the front part of the card. Okay. Let's do the back part of the card. This is going to be very simple. I'm just going to do paragraph. I don't want to do. Remember, you can add whatever you want. This is just HTML. You can add even a video if you want to. So let's do lorem, I don't know, 20. Maybe a little bit more. Let's just copy and paste this. Whoops. Copy, paste. Just a little bit more. All right, so now we have both right there. We're gonna change that later in a minute because they both need to be in the same position. That way, when we rotate, they are in the same position. The only difference is that one is on the back, one is on the front. Okay. All right, now that we have that, actually something important that I want to do, I want to, this image, I want it to be on the left side. So what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna do a new div with a class of text. And inside that text, I'm gonna put the headline and the paragraph. And with the power of Flexbox, we can do that. Save it. All right, that looks good. All right, so now we have the image and we have the headline, the paragraph in this div. And what I want to do is that. So let's put this image right here on this side and then all this headline and text on the right side. Like you saw in the beginning. I don't know if you remember the finished product. All right, so now let's start adding some CSS to the card. That way it takes more style. Right now it doesn't look that good. Let's go ahead and do card. All right, width is gonna be 100%. Height, we need to choose a specific height. That way the front and the back are the same height. And there's nothing weird happening when you flip it. They look good if it's like a height that they're both the same. So I'm gonna do 350 pixels for now. Position relative. We're gonna have some position absolute because front and back of the card, they're gonna be position absolute. You're gonna see that in a minute. Now another one for the 3D. So I'm gonna do transform style. And that's gonna be preserve 3D. All right. By the way, there is a link in the description. I'm gonna leave everything about this 3D, what preserve 3D is, what the perspective is, all that. Transition. And this is the transition just because when we flip the card, I want it to be a smooth transition. So I'm adding that to the transform. Transform. We can do 1 second. I think that's good. We can play with the time, but if you put 1 second when the card flips, it's gonna take 1 second to flip. If you put 5 seconds, it's gonna take 5 seconds to flip. So just like that. Let's do the font size a little bit. I don't know, 1.2 EM. Let me save that. There you go. So now the actual card font is a little bit bigger. And I think that's it for now for the card. Let's go ahead and see the card block, which is each of the different front and back of the card. Block. Let me scroll a little bit. Scroll. All right, so both of them, they need to be position absolute. Okay, so position absolute. Remember, card block, let's go back. We have the card. And inside the card, we have card block and card block. All right, both of them. And one has card front and one has card back. Okay, so now everything that we add here is gonna be for both front and back. Okay, position absolute, width 100%, height 100%. This is gonna take 100% of the height. Let's add a little bit of padding. Now it looks better. Border radius, I always like border radius. Let's put like 8 pixels. Flex, display flex. That way the logo is gonna be on this side and the text on the other side. Like items, center. And I think that's it for now. Let's see how that looks. It doesn't look that good, but it's because we have the back side. You can see the back side, but the logo is here, the text is here. So that's working. Let's go ahead and do something for the card front. Card front background. I'm just gonna put like a gray color, and card back. This one is gonna be more like a dark gray color, just to make sure it's very different. And the color for the text, let's put white. Save that. Here you go. So now we have here, this is the back. So one thing that I want to do is transform. This is the back of the card. Transform, rotate Y, and we're gonna do 180 degrees. So it's gonna do this, 180, okay? Save, there you go. So now what we can do to test it, make sure this is working. Let's open the inspector. I'm gonna click here on the card. Let's open this, click the card. And right here on the card, what I can do is do transform, rotate Y. Whoa, all right, take it easy. Whoa, 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 whoa. That's not what I want, but okay, you can see that it's working. The 3D is working. Maybe it's not what I want. It looks weird. I don't know if you can see that little weird thing. We're gonna fix that. And that's because when it's rotating, you can see the back part of the other one. I don't know. You will see later. Rotate Y. And let's change it to 0. All right, so 0, 180. See? So here's the thing. We are now seeing the front and not the back. First, we need to make sure we don't see the back. We want to see the actual front of the back. That's what it is. We're looking at the back side of the front one. We want to see the front side of the back. I don't know how to explain this. This is okay, all right. Let's do something. Let's go here to the card back. Where is it? Card block. Yep, card block, which is both of them. And I'm gonna do back face, visibility, hidden. Save that. There you go. I don't know if you notice, but we're gonna do it again. Let's go to the card, transform, rotate. See, now you don't see this weird changing colors, and because now we cannot see the back side of the card. So if I do this, let's rotate. All right, we're rotating, rotating, rotating. There you go. Now we see the actual front of the back card, of the back side. We don't see the back side. So let's go ahead and do something. Where is it? Here. Let's uncheck the back face visibility, and let's move it again. See, you can kind of see it because it's changing. You can see it, and we don't want that. Make sure that you have that back face visibility hidden. All right, so I'm gonna add a little bit more space here. Let's see. Card block text. Let's put it here. Card block text, margin, top, bottom 0, left and right 35 pixels. There you go, that's better. We have some space here, looks a lot better. All right, that's working. So now we need to actually make sure that when someone clicks, it flips. Or if you hover, it flips. I want to do when it's clicked, but to test it, I'm going to do when it's hover. So what we can do is down here, we can do a card hover, and let's do transform, rotate Y 180 degrees. Save. Now I'm going to hover the card. There you go. Flips when we hover. Now this is working already. Maybe this is what you want. I don't know. And that's it. You're good. But I want to do when it's click. I think it's a better user experience. More on mobile. And making sure that you know that people can click. Maybe you have a button that says learn more about me, learn more about this, and then people click and actually flips. So let's go ahead and create some JavaScript. So I'm going to create a new file. I'm going to call it flip.js. And here all we have to do is when click, add this specific class. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to create a variable. Let's call it card equals to document query selector, the class of card. All right. And what we're going to do is card add event listener is going to listen to a click. When that click is triggered, is going to trigger this function that is right here. And I'm going to test it just to make sure that this works. So let's console log card. Save. Go to console log. All right, let me remove this hover CSS. Let's just comment this out. All right, so I'm going to click. And of course, not working. Hopefully you know why. And it's because we need to add the actual JavaScript to our CSS. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to add the script, flip JS, which is the one that we created right now. Save that. Let's test it. There we go. So now when I click, it's giving me the card. Perfect. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to do card dot class list toggle, and we can toggle whatever class you want, and I'm gonna do flipped. I think that's how you write it. Yeah, maybe not, maybe yes, who knows. All right, let's take a look at the card right here. When I click, it's supposed to add that flipped and toggle back when you click, so let's make sure that works. There you go, flipped. I'm gonna click again. It removed the flip. Perfect. So now all we have to do is go here and say card. So the card class with the class of flipped is gonna do the transform rotate 180. So I'm just gonna copy and paste it right here. Save that. Let me just close this. Click. There we go. Click back. Perfect. Beautiful. So let's go back. Let's go to a CSS. Let's play with the perspective. I promise you, we're going to play with that. So I'm going to go from 800 to 200. and it's gonna modify the perspective that you have on that card. So let's go ahead and change it. Let's click. Whoa. See? So the perspective changed. Now I'm gonna do 100. You know what? Let's do 10. I'm sure this is gonna be ridiculous, but let's do it. Let's go. I don't even know if you like that. Maybe you do. 1 pixel? 1 pixel? Click? Oh my god. What is this? I don't get it. Maybe that's what you want. I'm gonna keep it 600. I don't know, 600. I think it looks good, 600. Yeah, just a little bit of perspective. You can go to 1000 if you want it to be very subtle. So let's click. There you go. And we can slow this down to like 3 seconds if you want something very slow. There you go. Smooth. I don't like it because every time someone is on a website, they want something quick. Hey, give me the information quick. So I think 0.5 is good for me. Like I can click, boom. I see the effect, looks cool, but you're giving me all the content very quick. I don't have to wait 3 seconds. That's too much. For the mobile code, as you can see, it doesn't look that good. So let's go ahead and do media. Max width 768 pixels. And we can start with the container. We're gonna change the flex box direction. So flex direction to column. Save that. All right, we're getting somewhere. A little bit of margin because it's kind of in the corner. So yeah, that's better. All right, the paragraph, I want a little bit of margin on the top there. So container. Margin top, let's do 25 pixels. Yep, that's better. The card block, both of them, right? Both of the cards, both of the sides of the card. Flex direction column, same thing. Save it. There you go. And we're gonna text align everything. Font size, a little bit smaller than that, so 0.9 em. And I think that's it, but it has a lot of margin here. We need to remove that margin. So card block, text, margin, let's do 0. There we go. All right, click, it works perfectly. Now, one thing that I'm gonna do, because when I go to my phone, it can look weird because of this back face visibility. So I'm gonna make sure we add the WebKit. So I'm gonna do WebKit, back face visibility hidden. Sometimes you're gonna have issues with browsers having problem with this. WebKit is gonna fix that. So save. All right, go ahead. All right, one thing, I think this is the last thing I'm gonna do. I wanna add the little hand pointer to the cursor. That way it looks like you can click on it. So let's go ahead and go to card, cursor pointer, save. There you go. So now you can see the hand. And this helps a lot. People know that you can actually click the whatever it is, click, and something happens, and it's an awesome and beautiful modern 3D flip. And that's it. I hope you learned something new. My name is Jay. Thank you so much for watching. See ya. Subscribe if you want to keep learning and click on the bell icon to receive notifications every time I upload a new video. Thank you so much for watching. Have a beautiful day. Bye bye.